Welcome to Vegas Circle with Paki and Chris, and today joining the circle with us at Bottega Exchange, we've got Las Vegas Lights goalie Tommy Olsen, a.k.a. TKO, is with us in the building today. Tommy's actually a Las Vegas native, so played for Bishop Gorman, also played for the Under-20 FIFA World Cup team. So we're excited to have him in the circle with us today. So great win. First off, I got to say that first. Great win last night.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So you grew up in Vegas.
Yep. Born and raised, man. My whole life, man. Except with college, I went to University of San Diego, but Vegas through and through, man.
Yeah. How'd you like San Diego? San Diego's wild, man.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. This summer was tough for me. It was so hot, man, and I was like, oh, San Diego. On the beach, too. Pacific Beach for 2 years living there. You can't really beat that, but, you know. I love home, though. I love home.
Of course, yeah.
This is your first year back in Las Vegas?
Well, I was here last year, but kind of on and off. Obviously, I had kind of a roller coaster year last year, so I was in Vegas, but I skipped out on the summer part, so I was smart, and so I kind of missed that until this year. I'm like, man, I forgot how bad it is out here, but it's all good.
Yeah, with the 108, 110, it's brutal. Yeah, but if you've been playing like that all your life, don't you get used to that?
I'm definitely used to it. I think it's worse when you're not playing. I think you're just walking around. It's like, dang, you can't do anything. But no, I'm used to it, and luckily you don't have to play on turf because when you got to play on artificial turf, it's 108. It's pretty bad. So
you think you handle it better than some of the other guys you play with, considering you're from here?
Yeah, for sure. They were complaining earlier this year about how hot it was, and it wasn't even hot yet. It was like just mid-90s. I'm like, you guys just wait. Don't complain now. Just wait.
Exactly.
Sure enough, when it gets up to 115, they're just looking at me like, how do you do this? But
it's Vegas, man. You got to do it for sure.
Yeah.
So growing up, I was reading about you. You've obviously been inspired by a lot of different people. Who motivated you growing up?
Oh man. I would say my family in general, just because I come from a really big family. My mom is she's one of 10, and eight of her siblings live in Vegas, and I have about 26 cousins on that side.
Oh wow!
And they all pretty much, with the exception of 2, they all grew up, born and raised here. So, man, I've been around the big craziness my whole life, and had a few older cousins play soccer, and very sports. Our family loves sports, so it's something I always look to do, and obviously I kept going with soccer, and so I think they drive me the most, honestly.
Yeah, and I was reading, man, your grandfather, man. I didn't know that was your grandfather.
Yeah, exactly.
So Gerald Higgins, man, that's UNLV. I mean, that's legendary.
Old
that's
school,
legacy,
man. It's
40 years.
40 years, man. 40 years, and he did pretty much till the day he died. So he loves UNLV. He loves sports in general. Huge Notre Dame fan. He went to college at Notre Dame. So now he started this whole crazy train, man, and definitely my idol for sure, my grandfather.
And he was close with Jerry Tarkanian, wasn't he?
Yeah, because he was the doctor right around. Through that whole period, obviously with the basketball team and the football team. So him and Jerry go back, and I actually ended up playing for Jerry's son, George. He was my coach growing up, so there's definitely ties in there. And I'm good friends with George's son, Alex. So there's a lot of ties between the two families, for sure.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, man.
That's really good. When did you actually pick up a soccer ball then? So,
it actually started with basketball, but soccer probably really got into it like 8 or 9. Then around 10, 11, you start playing like club, and it grows from there. So, a while for sure. I put in my time for sure.
I definitely figured you were a hooper for sure. With 6'3".
Yeah,
I see you.
Absolutely. Even till pretty much my senior year of high school, I was playing. So, basketball's my first love, actually.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you.
I don't think I'd be the same player without playing all these different sports. Playing soccer helped me with basketball, and vice versa. So, definitely love basketball. Still watch to this day.
So when did you know you wanted to go full into soccer and kind of go away from the basketball?
Well, I figured, okay, where am I gonna play professionally?
Yeah, that's sure.
Luckily I went to Gorman, right?
Yeah.
And I was around, professionals all over the place. So
of course,
I knew pretty quick. I was a decent basketball player. I'm 6'3", but if you're 6'3", you better be a light out shooter or fast, and neither one was my thing. It's more the athlete, but that's why I love Gorman, man, because I was playing with Shabazz Muhammad and Ronnie Stanley and guys like that. I'm like, okay, that's the pinnacle. So, and soccer I was more the top of the cream of the crop there. So stuck with soccer, man.
And then growing up, you actually selected for the under-20 team, huh? So you played FIFA World Cup?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Actually, my first call-up was pretty much when I was 20. I was at University of San Diego, coming off a big freshman year. Yeah, I got called to a camp. I think it was March. It was like a England camp. Just we trained for a week over in England. We had 2 friendlies. We played Tottenham, who's a EPL team out there. They're one of their reserve teams. And then we played England under 21s. So went to that camp, did well, and then later that year got a call to come to the World Cup and go to New Zealand, and that's where the World Cup was. Went to Australia as well. So definitely exciting moment, and definitely changed everything for me, man. That opened a lot of doors. That's probably when professional really became like a thing after that, because I was pretty much the only college guy on the team, and you're around guys that are younger than you and playing professional and all these teams and over in Europe. So it's a wake up call, but it was fun, man. That's definitely the greatest soccer moment I've had so far. So
especially playing in England. I mean, England is like that's the
dude change the honestly, Mecca. Change the way I look at soccer, and because growing up in Vegas, it's not. We have good soccer talent here, but it's not huge. It's not Southern California, so
sure.
It's different. Your view is different. Then you go to college, and it's a little different. Obviously, it progressed, but man, going over there and training at Tottenham facility, and then end up playing England U21s, they have studs now that are playing for the full team. I think the goalie for England now is Jordan Pickford, and we played against him when he was 21 at the time. You're around world-class talent, and I remember we played in Plymouth, England, and we played at Plymouth Argyle was a stadium, and it holds like 25,000 people, and that thing was crammed just for our game. USA under 21, have a few guys they know, but England U21, I mean, it was buzzing in there, and I was just
talking crazy.
I'm just like, and I didn't actually play in that game. I was backup, but dude, just that was my first taste of it, and I was just like, okay, man, here we go. And the thing I remember to this day, and I tell a lot of people, is it was pouring rain that day. It was afternoon in England, right, in Plymouth, right on the coast. So it was just, sideways rain. And I'm over here just like, dude, in warm-ups, it's just, the ball's going all over the place. It's windy. It's just nasty out. And I'm just like, man, that's going to be a dirty game, like, tough game to watch. And I remember sitting down in the first 5 minutes, and England looks like they're playing in a, Saturday afternoon, 75 in SoCal, like nothing. There's no bad touches. There's no nothing. I'm just like, and we held our own, but you could definitely tell the weather was affecting us. But they were just, it was like no big deal, just pinging 40-yard balls, and you're just like, all right, this is different, man. But what an experience, and so grateful I got the opportunity.
Yeah, sure, that's powerful. You playing for the Light, which is awesome, man. Yeah. That's a good energy there. What's that experience like?
Oh man, talk about a roller coaster, man. It's been I was drafted last year by Rapids and was there for a little bit, like 3 months, and ended up getting released and ended up signing home, which was a dream come true. The problem was I missed all preseason. I even missed like the first 5 games of the season because I was still with Colorado. When you don't get that preseason, it's a little tough to fight for the starting job, right? So last year was definitely tough because I felt like I didn't maybe see eye to eye with the coach on certain decisions and wasn't really playing until the very end of the season. So last year was it was interesting. I also went on loan last year to Sacramento Republic for about 2 months, which was probably the best thing that happened to me last year too, because just got a fresh start, was able to play a few games out there and just kind of revive my energy. And like I said, I came back last 5 games of the season, played for the Lights, and obviously did well. And yeah, this year's been great. I mean, obviously given the keys to do, a lot more things in the community and get my name out there. Branding,
yeah, of course,
TKO is taking off. Yep. The mayor of Cashman. I was just about to say that was all Eric, by the way. Yeah. He started that. The first press conference, he said that. I was just like, oh,
that's beautiful though.
no, dude. Like I said, I've been enjoying it. And obviously, every time I step on the field in Vegas is special to me, and I have most of 15 to 20 family members there, and friends and stuff. So couldn't have worked out better. Honestly, I'm super happy about it.
That's cool. Do you think it's easier because of the fact that you're from here, like playing in front of family, playing and doing those type of things?
Yeah, I mean, when I first played, I remember thinking like, well, don't do bad because your family's here. Hey, their family's gonna be the first one to give you grief, so they drive me too. And no, I think it's a lot more. It's just fun, man, playing in front of people and obviously I know so many coaches in the community, and I can connect with the kids and stuff. So anytime you kind of get to show where because a lot of people around here haven't seen me play for a while. I mean, because I went off to college and I was, kind of all around. So getting to come back and just like kind of show what the hype was about was always fun. Get to prove yourself in front of your own, your own people. So, dude, it's a blessing. And most guys don't get the opportunity to do that. So super thankful for that.
And then, with Las Vegas becoming such a sports town now, with like football coming here and basketball talks and baseball talks, and where does you think soccer kind of falls in that mix?
Oh man, hey, look at our attendance, man. People like soccer out here. There's no question. I mean, I was giving us a hard time on the midweek game, but we've played some midweek games this year and have had great crowds, and it's pretty good because you go to some of these other USL teams, and not to talk smack, but they're not getting the same crowds we are, and it hurts the game too. I think it's not as fun. Some places are really fun to play on the road, but some places you're just like, oh man, it's like playing a kind of a lower level game, and no one's really there. So when you go home, you get that real energy. It's almost MLS-esque. So. And I think we can continue that. I don't see there's any reason why we wouldn't be able to support an MLS team. So,
you think it's because Las Vegas is so thirsty for that kind of competition?
I think so, man. I don't know. I think there's always been a huge soccer specific crowd in Vegas, and I think obviously with the Knights, that whole thing exploded. The whole thing. Now everyone's like, all right, let's go to Vegas. Let's open this team. Let's open that team. So you got to give a lot of credit to the Knights for sports in general. I mean, it's changed the whole Vegas landscape, and now we're obviously getting the Raiders. So I think MLS is right there, and obviously NBA one day for sure. So now it's an exciting time for Vegas, man.
Yeah, and then the Aviators do well too.
Yeah.
So it's just
Aviators
it's a lot
and the
going
Aces are they playing right now, or
I think they're playing. I think they are playing right now. Yeah, today. Yeah,
we gotta check on that.
We're getting a real sports town, that's for sure.
It's beautiful.
No, it's pretty wild. Yeah, Aviators did well too. I went to one of their playoff games against the River Cats. It was like the last home game or whatever. And now they're doing their thing, man. Good season for them.
Yeah, it's great. Because, I mean, both Chris and I are both from the Midwest, and it's fun because when you go certain cities, you have sports arenas everywhere. So it's just so cool seeing that now in Vegas. It's great.
It's definitely changed the I think it's changing Vegas, too. It's making it more of a community, or at least showing the community that was already here.
It's giving us our culture.
There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah. How do you deal with the pressure, man, of playing in front of the crowds and performing and making sure you're on point?
Oh man, I think it's that's something. I mean, even when I was playing in college and there was 4,000 or 5,000 people there, I think you just learn to. That's what makes it fun, man. That's why I play really for days like that. So when I look at it, I'm like, there's no reason to be nervous, man. It's like this is what you work for. This is the fun part.
Yeah.
All the other days of the week where you're just training and it's kind of whatever and. Don't tell my coach I said that, but it's no, man. Everyone plays for the games, man. Everyone plays for the excitement, and if you're not nervous, then what's the point of being out there, man? That's the fun part. So, especially when you win, man, it's always it's always worse when you lose, right? But after a win like last night or something, you get to sit back the next day and be like, man, that was fun.
It's loud in there
fun,
too,
and it's good to win.
I saw the
everyone's
game
happy, man. Yeah, so
it was cool.
The nervous thing, I think it's. You kind of grow up with it, man.
Do you think
whatever?
You're kind of like you become attached to that feeling. And that's why you chose to be a goalie because you're like on an island by yourself almost, and it's goalkeepers. You have to grow up with that position, man. You got to figure that out. That's not and that's why I give a lot of love to goalkeepers in all sports, man. Whether it's hockey, soccer, whatever. You have to you mature with it, man, because it's a mind game more than anything. It's a lot of people can do the the mechanics of goalkeeping physically, but the mind part is that's something I think people overlook for sure. And how do you deal with the pressure of a tough loss? Because it's easy to be when you're winning, but if you're just not feeling it that day and
mistakes,
we've gone through a lot of those this season, unfortunately, especially on the road, man. It's just like whether it's been me or defense or we're just not scoring or refs not helping us out, or there's been a lot of things this year to kind of. Especially on the road, really hurt us because we're not, our record on the road is not how good we are as a team, man. We kind of been finding ways to lose on the road, and it's tough, especially after a while on the road. You get discouraged when you go out there, you're like, man, we got to figure this out. And if something goes wrong early, then it's like, oh crap, we got to, you're on your heels already. But, I think we got to grow up with it. I think we got a lot of young guys, and I think experience always helps. I feel like even though I didn't play much last year, I was one of the more veteran guys, and I was more comfortable on the road than, some guys. So I think it's just experience thing, man, and just, winning to managing games, and there's a lot that goes into it. But
if there's any team that you could play for, who would you want to play for?
Like anywhere. The whole world? Oh, man. I mean, I grew up a big Man United fan, but Man, I would probably say Real Madrid or Barcelona. Maybe Barcelona, because I actually went to Barcelona for a family vacation last offseason.
Okay.
Went out to the new camp and saw all Messi's Ballon d'Ors and, all this stuff. And, man, what a beautiful city and a beautiful place to play. That's I don't think it gets better than that, man. Putting on that kit in front of that many fans, I think that's
how many fans sit there? It's like 50,000?
I think it might be more than that. It's pretty big. I want to say it's in the 70s, 80s, maybe something.
80s?
Well, and I know the Bernabeu Real Madrid Stadium's like in the 90s, I think. It's tall, too. It's steep, man. It's pretty sweet for sure. So maybe one of those two teams. Man. Let's hope. Crossing my fingers.
Yeah, you're still young, man. You got plenty of time, so that's good. So what about your personal brand and building? Because you're starting to build up this TKO. You start to build up the Mayor Cashman and all these good names. And
no, man, I think it's almost non-intentional. Really, when it started, I didn't think about it, but then I was like, okay. I started thinking. Obviously, when you're just trying to get on a team, you're not thinking about the business side of it, the branding side of it. But when it starts to carry on and, people are saying TKO and people are saying Mary Cashman, and it's funny to me, but
especially from here.
But hey, look, you see all my posts on Instagram or anything, it's all, TKO
What's
this,
wrong?
TKO that. And someone would call me the mayor, but I'll repost that, man. Yeah. So, hey, it's one way or another getting your name out there, man. I'm all for it. And it's been fun to see that because, I haven't really been around that. So, and my teammates give me a lot of grief too. But I love it. I'm like, hey, where are your guys' names, man? where are your nicknames?
Start picking.
Absolutely. It shows that people are rallying behind you, which is cool.
No, absolutely. And the fans have been so cool to me. Obviously, being the Vegas kid makes it easy, but you still have to perform and stuff. They've been super cool with me. Even on our rough games this year, they've reached out to me, said, "You've been playing great. Just keep going." Even just side notes like that, I think is important. It's important to have the fans behind you. And no, I think I don't know that sports is kind of new for us, right? So we've had a lot of hometown guys play in other cities, but to play here is it's kind of new for the city too. So I think that's why it's even more exciting for me.
Yeah. And your team, it's wide range of countries.
Yeah, man. It's all over the place. We got a lot of SoCal guys, but we got a guy from Honduras, Colombia, Venezuela, Mexico, obviously, Japan. So kind of all over the map, man. For sure.
There's a Vegas being a melting pot, man. This is amazing.
Really it makes sense, right?
What do you think some of your biggest strengths are, and what separates you from other goalies and just other players in general?
Oh man, I think for me, I like to think that because I've definitely, every team I've gone on, I've been questioned or whatever, and I've only been questioned until I play in the games, right? Until I get opportunity. And goalkeeper, that's so important, man. Only one guy plays a position, so whenever you get a sniff or any opportunity, you got to hold on to it. And I think I've done pretty well doing that, even in college and high school too. I've always kind of proved myself, so I think mentally I can get prepared for my opportunity and really take advantage of it. And obviously, as far as on the field, I think athletically, it's always been one of my strengths. I've been a little more raw than some guys, but aerial battles I've been pretty good at. And, I think that's definitely my strength. I think if you ask a coach, that's the, athlete. And it's always good to be the athlete because you can always learn, the smaller tricks and traits of the position. So.
Yeah. And then we've always talked about Vegas in general, just switching it a little bit. What do you like about Las Vegas just in general?
Oh, man, it's different. There's no place like Vegas. I mean, and every time, even when I was growing up, I remember you go out of town and people were like, "You're from Vegas?" And you have to explain it. And it's only now, since the Knights came here and all this, people are like, "Oh, man, there's a whole community there. There's a whole city there." And I've been trying to tell people that for years, man, even before all that. So it's different, dude. There's nothing like this. So
at all.
I think that's what I love about it, and it has its own feel, and people here have a chip on their shoulder too. And I don't know. I'm proud to say I'm from here, and say it's, a crazy place to come. It's always a good time, but there's more to it. So, man, it's just different, I would say.
What do you do for fun, especially because you're from here? So you've seen everything. So it's like nothing.
Is this going on the podcast?
Yeah, of course it is. We cut it off. Yeah.
No, I think it's different when you're from here, right? You're not doing all the craziness. We definitely have a few guys who've their downtime they've hit the strip plenty of times. I don't blame them. That's what's all about Vegas. But no, like I said, I have a huge family, and through that family, very connected with a lot of friends. So anytime I get to hang out with friends, whether it's going downtown, usually Fremont, we'll go down to Fremont on after a win on Saturday.
You're a local.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They treat you right.
Oh, yeah, exactly. No, but that's, I think it's the more local spots. Well, sometimes you go to the Strip and, go to the day clubs or whatever, but it's a little more crazy. You got to be mentally prepared for that for sure. So, a lot of things, man. There's plenty of things to do around here, but Aviators games, a lot of stuff, man. I just kind of hang out with family and friends mostly, just kind of, mosey around town.
Yeah.
Just a quick question out of curiosity, because you do see a lot of more homegrown talent here. Because like you said, you export to different locations. Now you can kind of stay here. What do you think it is specific about Las Vegas that actually can grow that talent and make people successful and become professional?
It's funny. I actually was wondering that the other day because I was looking at not just soccer, obviously, but I was looking at, obviously my experiences at Gorman, but there's plenty of other kids that came from different high schools. But from my experience, I'm like, where'd all these guys come from, man?
That's a lot.
And I grew up playing with a lot of them, but a lot of them I also was like, man, you were here the whole time? And, some guys move in late and all this stuff. But I was wondering why Vegas is producing so many good athletes. You look at baseball, man. We've taken over baseball, Bryce Harper, Chris Bryant, Joey Gallo. Those baseball starting off, and you got basketball. My boy Ronnie Stanley at the Ravens right now, just killing it. And I'm like, where'd you guys come from, man? And I knew Ronnie growing up playing basketball, but it seems like there's more and more and more. And
even musically, it's becoming more of a thing, too.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess maybe, people are really starting to live here now, and their kids are being raised here, and I guess the coaching's good, man.
That's the coaching.
Yeah. Soccer, too, man. Soccer's so underrated for Vegas, and for some reason, we still don't have an academy here for the clubs, So it's just basic club soccer. I don't know why they haven't figured that out yet.
I think that's going to change,
Yeah, I think with the lights, it's going to change, and I think hopefully we get MLS team. Then you have to have an academy, right? A youth academy. So they'll figure that out. But the problem is they don't have an academy, so all these really good kids are either kind of going under the radar. Some make it out, obviously, but a lot of good talent here, man. A lot of good Hispanic talent as well, and it's kind of whoever makes it out and can be shown right now. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then with Vegas, we've always asked people about the restaurants here, just because the restaurants are so good. But what's one of your favorite restaurants here in Vegas?
Oh man, someone asked me this the other day. I think I'm a big fan of Mon Ami Gabi. If I'm being fancy, if I'm getting fancy, that's not too often. But that's a beautiful place with the mountains right there. That's my mom's favorite spot too. So I had to say that.
There you go. Shout out to mom.
Yeah, right. There you go. No, I like some places downtown too. I live over. My parents' house is a little 5 minutes from downtown, so I'm a more old school guy. I like Esther's Kitchen down there is pretty good. Carson Kitchen. Yeah, those are probably some
three good ones.
Yeah,
that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where are some of your personal goals right now, and where do you see your growth in the next, let's say, 2 to 5 years?
It's like I said, goalkeeper is tough, man. You never really know because guys are playing until they're 40, right?
Yeah.
And only one guy plays, so spots have to open up, and it's very competitive, right, to get an opportunity. But my goal is MLS for sure. I got a taste of it with Rapids. I definitely wanted USL was going to be the option anyway because you got to really work your way up the system, especially goalkeepers, man. It's usually the older you are, the more experience, and that means better, usually. And that's how it works. So MLS is definitely my goal. If I can get over to Europe, it's tough in certain countries. Obviously England's like crazy. You have to play 75% of your first team international games. So, that's wild, but that's how it is. Obviously that would be my end goal, but MLS is really where I'm aiming for right now, and just kind of buying my time. Got to keep performing, keep your numbers good, and, hope you get a shot, a trial, and same thing I did with Rapids, and get on the squad. So that's where I'm headed for right now.
Yeah. Well, we're rooting for you, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's like I said, it's always tough, but it's luckily I get to play till I'm older, and I got time on my side right now.
Definitely.
So, well, we appreciate you hanging out with us, man. We want to just
no
kind of give you a taste, man.
No problem.
For sure. So we would definitely check it. Can you shout out some of your Instagrams and your social media where people can reach you at?
Yeah. So on Instagram, it's Tommy K. Olsen, Olsen. And then on Twitter, I'm Tommy K. Olsen 1. So, hit me up. Follow me.
Awesome. Sure, we appreciate you hanging out with us at Bottega Exchange, and you'll see your interview at thevegascircle.com. So appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.